So the winner of the Kyle Beast 2020 Summer of 2020 Finish My Beat contest goes to Zens.
Look, man, they don't build them like us no more. That's all I'm gonna say. We took that dub. Me and you. I'm just built for this. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm cut out above the rest. Look, when you at the grocery store and you're picking out meat, and then you see that one that's cut above the rest.
What?
That's me. What am I talking about, bro? Hey, no. What's up, guys? Zens here, and welcome back to the channel. I'm so happy that I really wanted to win this contest. I put a lot of effort into this beat. Of course, as promised, I'm going to be breaking down. I actually don't even know how the freak do you even say the name? Like yeah, without further ado, guys, we're gonna get straight to the breakdown. I'm gonna be breaking this thing down from A to B. So if you guys are cool with that, hit that like button. If you're a new subscriber straight from Kyle Beats channel, welcome. How you doing, man? Hey, look, I've been trying to make these videos very entertaining and very educational, so you learn something every video. And along the way, hope I make you laugh a little bit or something. And oh yeah, one more thing. Tomorrow I'm going to actually be live streaming. I usually live stream every weekend. I've been kind of slipping lately because of the contest, but I'm getting things on the ball again. So tomorrow there's going to be a live stream. I live stream all the time, and I just do beat critiques basically. So you could just send beats to a certain email, and then I just pull them up, and then I give you good feedback. Doesn't matter what DAW you're using, etc, etc. So now, without further ado, let's get straight into the video. Before we get into like breaking this down, I want to, if you're new to the channel, then I'm gonna definitely have to explain this to you. The reason you probably heard this and was just like, oh my god, why did he try so hard? It's not just because I wanted to win the contest. There's a little bit of philosophy behind this, so just bear with me. I have done only 2 other beat battle style beats before this beat I posted here. One of them is called Paladin, really good, banger of a beat, right? And my first one is called Maria, right? There was an immense amount of pressure on me to surpass both of the beats I've done already. Now that you're down with like the history of things and kind of like my mindset going into this beat, we can actually pull up the arrangement, which looks like a monstrosity.
Oh my god.
There's a certain arrangement that you need to have with every beat battle style. Like if you're here to like learn how to make beat battle style beats, then this is what you want to know. There's a kind of like a format that these type of beats go for. There's an A section, then you got your build up section, which is like the bridge, and then there's the B section, and then sometimes if you feel like doing it, there's an outro. And then obviously there's an intro. So intro, A section, build up section / bridge, B section, then outro. So A section can be pretty similar to B section. You just want to switch it up a little bit. Usually like 8 bars into that section, and then you just switch it up a little bit, which I'll show in a second. And then you just do the same thing for B section. The build up and the bridge should be different from the intro, but it's basically the intro, but you just switch it up a little bit and make it like really like epic. You build everything up. You add a little bit of like, I don't know, just cinematics to it, I guess, and ambiance. And then you build up for that next drop at the B section. Then that part has like a little switch up, and then the outro should be a little bit different from the intro as well, but it's still like the intro being used basically. So let's get into actually breaking this beat down. The loop that I used is the distance loop. As soon as I heard it, I had instant inspiration. Honestly, I rendered this damn loop out so many times. I don't know how many times I pitched it up. Just know that I pitched it up quite a lot. I just can't remember. As you can see, I rendered it out so many times. It just looks like it's at the original pitch, but it's definitely higher, so. I copied it over, made it unique, and then I pitched it down, I mean, because it was lacking a lot of low end. Now it's like, it's kind of got this like bassiness to it. Also very subtle, but it made a difference in the end for me. This is the main thing that you do in beat battle type beats. You want to flip whatever sample you're using. That's usually what you do. If you're using a sample, you try to flip it in the most unique way possible, that to you anyways. And then that's like the main melody. So this is what I ended up doing with it. So as you can hear, sounds really, really different from the original. So this is literally the distance loop. I threw it in Fruity Slicer X. I changed the notes around a little bit, but I made sure to follow the main melody so I didn't mess up any of the bass notes and the chord progression that was going on. So I didn't mess up like any additional melodies that I added. I have this choir that I added. In the beginning of the beat, you hear this crazy vocal come in. This is straight from arcade. I just picked a random arcade preset, and then I just put it in here and make sure it was a key. And I just tucked it in the background, put some chorus, maybe some flanges, definitely hella reverb, and I just tucked it in the back of the mix. I got some pads in the verse. As you can hear, it's following the chord progression of the melody. I have kickstart on it. Kickstart is, I'll go to it now if I find an instance of it. So kickstart is literally just like a side chain, like simulator, basically. You can, instead of doing regular side chaining, you could just use this and it side change the melody to your liking, basically. And there's a bunch of settings here, and you can change how the side chain sounds, I guess, and it gives the beat an entirely new bounce with the melodies being side changed like that. So, and then with the choirs I showed like a few minutes ago, I guess, I duplicated that and pitched it all the way down. If you notice in the B section, when the beat speeds up, it goes into double time. The melody switches up quite a bit. I found this little pluck out of a one-shot kit, and I made a whole pluck lead that you could barely hear, and I tried super hard on it. I'm pretty sure if you go listen back, you could probably hear it in the mix somewhere. The mix is pretty shoddy in my opinion. I didn't get time to fully mix it like I wanted to, because I wanted to make sure I still like promoted it and got it out to people so people could vote and stuff. So the main melody flip that I did with the distance loop, I just chopped it up so it could just sound even more like choppy than before. So yeah, that's the same exact loop, and I just edited the settings on the declicking mode, and I put it on smooth bleeding, so that makes it it increases the attack between each time the sample interacts with each other again, if that makes sense. So in the intro, when the violin's going and stuff, I just have a Reese bass going. And then the violin. For one shots, this was a pretty clever thing I did, so I wanted to show you guys how I did the violin. So if you open the violin in its insert, right, you can go to the polyphony, you can set it on mono, and then you push the slide up to about like maybe like 1 minute or whatever, and that adjusts the portamento time, which means you're adjusting how fast it's going to slide to each note. In doing so, you can manipulate and basically drag the sample out farther than it's supposed to originally, and that's how I got that slide effect here. And I thought that was just so cool how I did that. So yeah, other than that, for the intro, everything else is just stacked on top of each other. It's just the choirs and all the stuff I previously showed you guys. All right, so after B section happens, we go into the bridge. This part was my favorite part to like program, I guess. I don't know. It's just like I love doing build-ups because it's always like the culmination of like everything that I know every time. I always put like so much effort into the build up. So the build up in this one is not super complex. The only thing I added, it's literally just the intro copied and pasted over. But all I added was some more cinematic drums. Mainly the only thing I added was this really crazy lead synth. Oh man, sometimes I listen back and I'm like, did I make this? Did I actually make this, bro? All right, so the first lead synth is from Silent 1, actually. It's called the Diamond Standard Bank. You can find it on, you can find it on Beast 24/7. They sponsored me a few videos ago, so definitely go check out their site. And it has this crazy sub in there. Really, really like intense lead synth, so that's why I only used it in this occasion. very aggressive. The second synth is from a random silent bank. It's called Vandalism, I think, and it just kind of supports the melody a little bit. It's kind of more of like a happy like pop melody. So yeah, both of those work together, and then they just kind of repeat this melody together until the last bar, where in which the last bar it goes up, it shoots up in the melody, and it goes an octave higher for that really like epic feeling. So as it's like, okay, well that was just terrible. That's when the beat drops and it's like it gets all epic. All the 808 slides are happening, all the fills are happening. So it's just like really epic at that last part. Yeah, and then when the melody drops, I chop up the melody to go with the new drum pattern. So I just chopped it in a way where it stops right when the kicks hit. So it creates this insane bounce when the beat drops on the second part. So to differentiate section A between section B, I usually pitch the melody a little bit different for section B, so it sounds just a little bit different and a little bit more energetic than section A. All I did was just use the main chopped melody that I use from the distance loop, and I pitched it up and layered it with everything else. So I just gave it a little bit more of a hype feel. Then after I fade Kyle's vocals out, I go straight into the outro. I rendered the beat out, and then I pitched it up 300 semitones, and then I just put hella effects on it. So this is one of my favorite techniques to do for an outro. You render the whole beat out, isolate the melodies, and then you just pitch it up or pitch it down to create a completely different vibe. And I just drown it in reverb. I felt like I needed something very calming and like spacious to end the beat off with. I added a little synth under it. You can hear it kind of like flying around in there. It was kind of like a calming thing to like, I guess, combat how aggressive this beat is beforehand. Towards the end, I rendered the drums out. I just used the slow triplet preset and I put it on the drums. Usually when I do like really big sweeps and big reverbs and stuff like that, it's usually just regular stock reverb, and I put widener on it and I just crank it up to like 50%, and I put chorus in there, so you just make the drum sound really wide and kind of like almost 3D audio, if that makes sense. I gotta give a big shout out to Kadalos. I don't know if I'm saying this dude's name right, but let's just get the pleasantries out the way. This dude is a big inspiration of why I started doing beat battle type beats. He's like one of my favorite like beat battle style guys. So yeah, I really like look up to this dude. So yeah, if you're in the comments about to type, oh, this is just a Kadalos beat, it probably is, all right? Now stop freaking hating. Shut your freaking mouth. A lot of the effects in here are from his stuff. So I'm probably gonna skip over the effects. It's really not that important, honestly. We could just go straight to the drums. Some of the 808 slides are just straight from Kadalos kit, and I just pitched it up to make sure it was in key. So that one is just, I just EQ'd it a lot and I pitched it up and made sure it was a key, and I put reverb on it and delay. That's like my favorite thing to do. So usually when I'm trying to make a very cinematic impact, I usually use a lot of effects to kind of transition into that. I use my Shinnok FX, Quantum effects, and I use the reverse kick, of course. That's like a standard in beat battle type beats. You use that reverse kick. So when the kick hits, it's like a reverse kick that goes straight into it, and then the rest of it are just layered effects from my drum kit, coupled with a bunch of effects from Kadalos drum kits. This is one of my favorite effects that I like to use now. I usually use that every time the beat drops, extremely dramatic. Just that glass breaking sound is just like, it's perfect when the beat drops. It just sets the mood like, yeah, this is the beat drop. Like, you know it's the beat drop when it happens. Yeah, let's just go straight into the drums. So I got a bunch of perk loops going, bunch of hi-hat loops. Not important in my opinion. I just use, just all you need to know is that hi-hat loops are for the win, okay? Just they're going to save you a bunch of time instead of trying to program a bunch of hi-hats, which I did anyway. but most times you can just throw a really good perk loop in there, and it'll save you a bunch of time. Snare is from my drum kit. The Anubis kick is straight from Kadalo's kit. So I have a bunch of hi-hat loops going, and then I programmed hi-hats in, and there's two hi-hat patterns layered on top of each other. Other than that, I chopped up this little sound effect, and I just chopped it up to give this like weird effect during the beat. Another thing I did is this cool fill that he had in one of his kids, Kadalos, I mean, and I just kind of looped it throughout the beat to give it this weird effect off too. I rendered the snare out, the snare that I used in the beat, and then I put hella reverb on it, and then I reversed it, and then put more reverb on it, and then I reversed it again, and then I got this effect. And I use that every time, every so often that the snare hits to create a more of a dramatic feel. All right, so for the 808s, another insane 808 from one of the Kadalo's kits. One of my favorite 808s to use to enter the Dimension 808. And it's just the main 808 basically. So as you can see, it's a very powerful 808. I put so many effects on this thing. I got retro color on it, and you might be thinking, why the freak he put retro color on there? There's a really good preset called Bass Talk on here. It really beefs up the 808. Really crazy, insane preset. And you can just manipulate the knobs here to your liking. And then of course you want the wide stereo 808s on your beats, especially these beats. Chorus, Camel Crusher, I got Annihilate on here. I got Crush on here. An imager to make sure that I didn't mess up the stereo field of the 808. Fat Filter Saturn. This kind of crunches down the 808 a little bit. Just a little bit of EQ because it was a bit too bassy for me. And then I got wider on there at 10%. And then of course it was insanely loud at that point, so I had to put a limiter on there. Yeah, and I kind of used that as the basis of all the other 808s, and I just made little tweaks here and there. This is the 808 pattern for the A section. It's like a lot of like really like big booming sliding down 808s. Same insane presets on there and effects, but it's a bit longer and dragged out because the A section is a little bit slower than the double time section when Kyle Beats vocals come in and stuff. I think the most important thing to note is that you don't have to do high 808 slides all the time for it to really work. So on this part, these are really low low slides, but they work, you know. One of my favorite slides in the beat is this really like low to high 808 slide. It's just crazy. That slide right there makes all the difference. So I suggest you try really low slides to high slides and make them really long and program it exactly how you see right here. And I think it's like one of the best things you could do in a beat. So let's get into some of the higher 808 slides. So yeah, this one is definitely my favorite. It's got that really crisp high end 808 slide. It's very Skype here ish. I'm pretty sure I put detune on this. It makes it sound really interesting when you detune the 808 just a little bit, just ever so slightly. Usually you could do it through chorus. There's a preset in here literally called detune. You definitely don't want to overdo it and make it sound super weird, but it sounds pretty cool when you do it like that. So when Kyle's vocals come in on the B section, I added some more little additional slides. So yeah, other than that, it's just additional effects and stuff. But I feel like those are pretty self-explanatory things. You always want to keep your beats really effects heavy when they're beat battle style. So just think outside the box. Just use whatever you think sounds really cool. I didn't do anything super ultra creative about the fills. The fills are straight from my kit and Kadalo's kit. So just go check those out. The main fill that I think really like builds up the beat drop is the Anubis fill. That hits right before the beat drops, so that creates for an insane first like initial beat drop. The last fills that I did, the ones that hit right when the beat drops, I have two patterns going, and they're just layered on top of each other. One is 1 octave lower, one is 1 octave higher. One of them has EQ on it, one of them doesn't. I feel like I couldn't have put it anywhere else in the beat. I put a few Easter eggs in there for you guys. I don't know if you caught all of them. One of my favorites, Pierre's Wrath sound effect. It's basically a thunder sound effect. For those who are watching that know about it, if you know, you know. So that's an effect from my drum kit. So I think that's the Discord leave, yeah, leave sound effect, and that happens like in the first bar. I got my boy Chew in here. I don't think he knows, but this was a direct reference to my boy Sub-Zero, because me and him got a collab coming. Don't think I forgot about you, my guy. I did a Mortal Kombat reference because his name is Sub-Zero, and that's obviously from Mortal Kombat. He kind of inspired the idea behind that part, which is cool. So another cool reference to Chew is the Pablo sound effect that I have in here. He uses it in a lot of his beats. I got this on the next drop in the B section. So at the same part, but I just put a different effect in there. And that's from Hellbox Kit, actually. So shout out to them. Other than that, for effects, there's parts where I drop the beat out. Those are self-explanatory though. You got to listen to the beat and you kind of just got to get a feel for where you want to drop the beat out. It's some parts like in the beginning where I do the big, like intense cinematic, like 808 slots. I just want people to focus on those 808 slots. So I drop everything else except for the melody and the 808 slides, and then I force you to listen to the 808 slides. Lastly, for effects, I think everybody kind of wanted to know about the reverb effect that I did at the beginning. I got reverb going on, flangus, a very aggressive flangus, by the way, and then widener, and then I drop it all back out when the beat drops. The flangus preset, I guess I could go into that. I actually don't know what preset I picked, but I picked a pretty aggressive one. I think it was like deep chorus, and then I pushed the depth way up and pushed the wet all the way up. Widener, I got it all the way at 83%. It's a very intense widener. I've never used such a high preset before. And then I got a pretty intense reverb, got the wet all the way on 100, got the dry at about 65%. Yeah, so when that part drops, it's just super intense. So for the master, I tried to mix it down as fast as I could, so I didn't really do the greatest job in the world. So still things like clipping and stuff. But for beat battles, I usually let it slide. I'm not super rule heavy and by the book type of guy when it comes to mixing in the first place. So all I have on here is a classic clipper. T-Rex is the go-to. I literally do not put I don't adjust any knobs. I just load up the classic clipper and just leave it there on the master. Then I put Fruity Compressor on there, and I'm pretty sure I put I always use the mastering 2.4 dB preset. I widened the beat a little bit with widener, put that on 15%. And then I did a pretty intense EQ with the FabFilter EQ plugin. So, and then the last three down here are the effects that I did, and I just got them set on automations. Lastly, the Kyle vocals. I downloaded his song, and then I used the plugin called RX7. It's by Isotope. That really helped isolate the vocals. I put a little chorus on there, pretty heavy EQ, and imager to widen the vocals even more. And then the limiter. Basically, the limiter is on here because I put a noise gate on the vocals because there are certain parts where you can hear the song basically. So I wanted to cut those parts out as much as I could.
Run it back. It's time to run it back. Don't really have time to keep money back.
So as you can hear, it's still a lot of the drums in there, but you can't hear it because, first of all, it's on beat with the drums I have. So it just sounds like regular hi-hats that I put in the beat. But it's actually straight from his song. I created a few little stutters here and there.
Fuck, yeah. This shit is working, but it's not the same. You could not tell me I'm going insane.
The last thing I did was I sidechained the kick to the melodies and Kyle's vocals. So every time the kick hits, it ducks out the melodies and Kyle's vocals at the same time. So that's one of the main things that I added towards the end of the beat that really changed the whole vibe up for me personally. So make sure you sidechain your kicks to your melodies when you're trying to do these type of beats, because it has a really cool bounce. I think I've pretty much covered everything. Hopefully, I hope you guys kind of like learned something from this. So a few quick announcements if you want to really like follow my channel and stuff. So I upload every week, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and then I stream on Saturdays. The videos each week are literally dependent on you guys. So all you gotta do, leave me a comment. Hey, can you do like a video on this? I need some help with mixing. I need help. Hey, cook up like a little Tekka type beat or something, or a Post Malone type beat. And that's usually what I try to do, and I try to bring to the table some little techniques you can use to create your beats and stuff like that. So it's really up to you guys. Just leave a comment. Go ahead and join the Discord server. That's going to be in the description below. Once again, my Haste drum kit is out right now. It's only $10 on BeatStars. But other than that, guys, that's going to be it for this video. Once again, I want to thank Kyle Beats for really giving me such a great opportunity. I'm so glad I won this, man. It's just, I'm gonna cry. No! Yeah, just crazy how that happened, man. Just want to appreciate everybody who were also in the running up for first place, second place, third place, all the contestants who submitted. Don't be discouraged. You losing always means that you need to be using that as motivation and inspiration to get better each day. That being said, guys, that is it for this video. I hope you did enjoy. Leave a like if you like this video. Subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.